What's going on? Tripp Kramer here from trippadvice.com. On today's video, we're talking about how to get your crush to like you. I have a little bit of a pet peeve, or maybe some beef, with the idea of having a crush. I'm going to go into that later on in this video, but I think it is a bad idea to have a crush. And if that confuses you, you're going to understand why in just a little bit here. So having a crush is a bad thing, but you're watching this video because you have a crush. There's someone that you like, there's someone that you're interested in. So I'm gonna be giving you a few tips on what to do when you have a crush, how to get them more interested in you, how to start conversation with them, and how to get to the point where you have the optimal chance of getting them to like you back. Some stuff is gonna seem kind of tough to work with here. Some stuff is not easy to hear. This is not simple. I know a lot of guys, they have a crush and they feel very nervous around someone that they like. But we have to just take this information and use it so you can get results here. So let's dive in. First, you obviously need to make sure that you're getting into conversation with her. So where could your crush be? Maybe you have a crush at school. Maybe you have a crush at your work. Maybe you have a crush on, I don't know, the waitress that waits on you. Maybe you have a crush on a girl who's in your social circle. Did I already say that one? I don't think so. So anyone that you're kind of hanging around with. So you got to make sure you're getting into conversation with them, and you're using my formula TED, which stands for tension, entertainment, and dominance. You're going to be using this formula and these three principles when you're in conversation with your crush. Just understand, and I'm saying this to you, but I'm kind of saying this to my past self. I had this thought that maybe if I just hung around enough or saw my crush enough that, I don't know, again, this wasn't logical, but I would just hope and pray that she would just notice me more and then end up liking me. I just really wish that just being in the vicinity was going to do it, but obviously that doesn't do it. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're getting into conversation with them. I even remember, this isn't specific to when I had a crush. Again, we'll come to the TED formula in a second, but I just remember when I was in college, I remember I was almost trying to be too cool to talk to the girls that were hanging around my social circle. I was trying to play it so cool that I wouldn't even talk to them, hoping something was gonna happen. Come on, it's not gonna happen. You need to get in conversation, and the best thing you can do in conversation is TED. Build tension, entertain yourself, and establish dominance, okay? What I mean by all three of these, and by the way, I go into a deep dive in my Hooked program in these. There's a link down below if you want to get that. Tension means you're flirting with them. A lot of guys are too scared to flirt with a girl. If you're too scared to flirt, you will end up in the friend zone, so you have to make sure you're doing that. Entertainment means entertaining yourself, aka self-amusement. If you are amusing yourself and you're having fun in the conversation, that state that you're in transfers over to her. She starts to have a good time in the conversation. Also, this is going to show confidence. When you're having a good time in the interaction, means you're not scared. And when you're building tension and flirting, it also shows you're not scared. It shows confidence. D is for dominance, meaning you're going to lead the interaction. If you got a girl that you have a crush on and you're going over and talking to her, that's a great first step, fantastic first step, but you have to make sure that you're eventually asking her out. You're not going to be able to get your crush or attract your crush or do anything with your crush unless you ask her out. A lot of guys want to do this thing where they have to make sure they have the most optimal chance of attracting her and then ask her out to what? Prevent rejection. Don't try to prevent rejection. Don't try to focus just on one girl all the time, that one crush, because you're going to get rejected and it's going to happen from time to time. So you actually want to numb yourself more to rejection instead of trying to just go for one girl. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I told you you're going to hear some things on this video that you're not going to want to hear that are going to be hard. But either way, if you have a crush, you got to flirt with them, you got to self-amuse, entertainment, and you have to move the interaction forward with dominance. More on that in my Hooked program, which you can catch down below in the description. Now let's move on here. Here's what's going to help in sort of the pre-stages, okay? So if you haven't asked her out yet, but she's been around, maybe you guys are going to parties together, she's in school with you, whatever, you want to make sure that you're doing TED, like I said, and hopefully asking her out. But at the same time, and I don't want to confuse you here, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you're not giving her too much attention. So let's say, for example, your crush is at a party that you're at. If you're talking to her too much and you're paying attention to her the whole party, what's going to happen is she's going to see this side of neediness and showing too much attention. There's actually a really funny quote. If you've ever seen the movie Dazed and Confused, I highly recommend it. It's a great movie. Dazed and Confused, there's this one part where one of the guys gives dating advice to the protagonist of the film. Okay, so he's like the cool guy who's like the popular guy giving the more nerdy younger kid some advice. I have the quote here. He says this. He says, "You know that Julie chick? She loves you. If you want her, you got to play it cool. You can't let her know how much you like her, because if she knows, she'll dump you like that. Believe me, like if she asks you if you want to ride, you say, 'No, I've got my own ride, but maybe I'll see you later.' Sounds stupid, doesn't it? It works." So the reason why I wanted to read that quote to you is this is one of the few moments in cinema where someone says something correct with dating advice. Usually you see a bunch of nonsense. But it's interesting because he is creating more tension by not showing too much interest. So he's telling the guy, listen, play it cool. If you're showing too much interest, then she's going to back off. But if you show her that you're sort of interested, but you're not showing too much, so you're showing her a little bit like, maybe I'll see you later, then this is going to help a little bit. Now, this might sound contradictory because I just told you you want to ask her out. This last minute of advice I just gave you is if you haven't asked her out yet and there hasn't been a moment, so there's just some things going on where you're sort of talking or sort of not, and you can play it cool that way. But don't do what I did in college. Don't go to one end of the spectrum and show no attention at all and play it too cool, because then if you don't talk to them, nothing's going to happen. So you have to talk to your crush. A great way to start conversation to get this going, so if you want to finally talk to her and start to show that interest a little bit and then finally ask her out, is just find common ground to open up a conversation with. So anything that's going on, maybe something that you know she likes doing, maybe an event you know she's going to, maybe her friends have been talking about doing something and then you can mention that to her, some sort of common ground to open up conversation, and then you can move that into some flirting, self-amusement, entertain yourself. What I mean by that is make sure that when you go in there, you're not just asking her a bunch of questions, but you're making sure that you're telling jokes that are funny to you, you're having a good time in the interaction, you're being silly, things that are fun to you, which again makes her have a good time. Now I want to move to the thing that I promised you I would be talking about, the idea of why I think a crush is terrible. So if you're sitting here right now, and I'm not trying to belittle you or put you down in any way, I'm trying to help you, okay? So just bear with me here. If you're saying to yourself, I have a crush, if you're watching this video and you go, yep, I have a crush, this is bad for two reasons. One, this means that you haven't made a move yet. This means that there's been enough time that has gone by where there is a girl you like and she is your crush, so to speak. So therefore you haven't made a move. That's right? That's just how it works. Guys who are more alpha, they know they like a girl, they're going for it. There's not even a second of time when they're thinking, I have a crush, because they're already going for it and asking her out and trying to make the move and be dominant and move things forward. Or you have a crush, the second reason, is because you're in the friend zone. So maybe you've tried and she rejected you, so now you're in the friend zone. So again, if you're thinking, I have a crush, if you have a crush, this is red alert, red flag, bad news. That means you're not making the move or you're in the friend zone and you're pining after a girl that doesn't like you. So I urge you, if you have a crush, go for it now. Just ask her out. Just go for it. I know I said play it cool. That's for very specific circumstances. But just make sure it happens. And most importantly, make sure you never have a crush. Don't ever have a crush. Again, that means that you're either in the friend zone or you let enough time go by where you haven't made the move. I don't want to train you to be able to do that. I train you even more how to do that inside of my Hooked program. You can check that out, link down below. That's the whole course on how to make sure you know how to use the TED formula to attract the women that you talk to. Hope that helps. See you on the next video.